Welcome everyone. This is January 17th, 2018. Welcome again to GreenFire. We're talking about 19 out of the last 23 days have been below zero. So we have some 20-some degrees, so we're thawing out. And this aurora is a sign of a thawing out. So I would invite everyone to look at this early new year and look at how this is coming out, unfolding for you. It's an invitation to invite what you're out picturing, what you want to see happen for the year 2018. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today, the 2018 and the out picturings. What you want to see unfold in your life, your planet's life, your country, your community, your ecosystem, whatever passion that you have, whatever your heart song is, what you would like to see unfold for the year 2018. Because we're all in this together, and we're at a time of perturbations on the planetary weather scene. That's the example of the last 19 out of 23 days being below zero. Not unusual, but yes, unusual in the sense that we've had record lows and an extended time of deep freeze. So we're coming out of the deep freeze, and that little bit of sunshine is warm, and it causes a nice thaw in our feelings, and we get a little bit more hopeful. And we're fragile creatures, us human beings. We're mammalian. But we're also social beings, and like we need one another to literally be human. Humans cannot be alone, they have to be with others. And so this is an invitation to be with others, whether they're near or far, in affirmations of what you would like to see unfold for 2018 in a positive energy way. So what we're doing is looking inward. But we're going to, by going forward, sometimes we take a step backwards. Another, see the forest for the trees, that kind of thing. And this is compositions that I wrote today, simply unfolding just down a long hall where sunlight, just a single shaft of sunlight was warming up a very cold, liquid, shadowy, long winter, and that warm ray of light. So at times we take all this for granted, but my gosh, Mother Nature, Mother Earth doesn't allow us to do that. So it calls us to simply be a little bit humble and be grateful for the gifts that we have. And one of the gifts is this sunlight with this warmth. And may that sunlight of warmth warm the cockles of your heart around the electronic campfire we call GreenFire, wherever you are, near or far, whether you're in Mallorca, in Tenerife in the Canary Islands, in Thailand, in Bhutan, underneath the Bodh Gaya tree in India, or up in Himalayan Tibet, up at Mount Kailas, or up in the fjords of Norway, or down in Tierra del Fuego, or out in the southern Pacific, down at Tahiti, or who knows where your dream time self really lives. So this is an invitation to inhabit that dream time self that is yours, and where you really truly choose to inhabit your dreamtime self. Could be on another star, but let's hope it's on Earth. There's plenty of different places on Earth that you could have your dreamtime self. But here we are in the Winter Palace, and we've entered the Great Hall. And in the Great Hall, we greet the ancestors who have come before us and invite them to sit around in their high places of nobility with their golden faces, which they have truly earned through their wisdom of years and experience. And they truly possess what they profess. You can only profess what you possess by experience. And the wisdom of the idiots could be a PhD, a practicum on the road, literally out in the streets or down in the mix or on the road. You have a PhD of experience. And nothing is greater than that wisdom. So we invite the ancestors, one and all, to inhabit this great hall of this golden eternity of now, as we unfold slowly into this new year. And we remember those who have departed, our loved ones. It's very important that we welcome them in here as well, into this awakening new year, that they have presence and memory, memorare, and a place in this great hall, in their presence, ancestry of our ancestors and elders who have come before us. And there are many, so we welcome them all, as well as the seventh generation yet to come. We invite their presence to be present in the great hall of now. And also those who are living in the houses of the holy of the golden eternity of now, those who are here in the thick, in the thin, who are living in the golden eternity of now, as well, the great membership of all humanity. And the membership is interesting. That could be a ship that we're all on, you know. It could be a hospital ship, but a membership of humanity. So look at that. A ship of humanity, a membership. We're all members of this ship of humanity. And we're all sailing on the same sea, whether it's the Indian Ocean or the Mediterranean or the Baltic or the Bering Sea or the Arctic or the Pacific or the South China Sea. We're all members of the same ship, and it become more visible as we unfold into the golden eternity of this GreenFire hour. So with that, we've welcomed in the ancestors, and we welcome in the seventh generation yet to come, and we welcome in those who are living in the now, who are part of the quick. Those who are part of the quick, that's us, all the people who are alive. They're of the quick. So we honor them pretty much the most, simply because they're before and after, and carry the divine mystery ship within, of the membership of the golden steerage of humanity. So we'll begin with a little piece from this time. It's a gift to be right in touch with this time. So this is we'll talk about illumination, and this will be the new moon in Capricorn began yesterday, and then the full moon will be in Leo on January 31st. But a time of illumination is the moon phase. The moon phase 2, January 16th to February 15th. It's illumination. So with that in mind, you have a fractal of a mountain with a lotus, eyes for a sea, and circles within circles, and clouds of unknowing surrounding the holy mountain. And then you have a heart chakra of the mountain in the seal of Solomon. Inside the holy mountain is the seal of Solomon. And so this is a path of light. This night, new moon, grinny moon, smiles at me from the mirror lake. Glide across ripples, creates a slender path that crosses water. On the unhappy shore of another time, weighed by sorrow, I walked next to a different lake. The soft sounds of night soothed my soul. Lapping water, cricket song and frog. New moon laid down a slender path of light across the water, sparkling with promise, beckoning, come, follow. Deep inside I felt all that was unfinished, possible and true. Another way for life to be. I am coming, I promised, to myself, to the slender smile of moon in lake, and, so saying, stepped out onto the path of wonder, the path of mystery. Once again, she reminds me, smiles assurance from on high. Are you walking the path? I walk it, is my answer. Finding that place of wonder from inside my heart and smiling, finding that path of wonder inside my heart and smiling. So today we're stepping out onto the path of wonder. We're stepping out onto the path of mystery in this early new year. For the timing and the light is right. It's still the dark of night when all the surprise is full of wonder and the mystery is alive. This leads to illumination. Illumination. And so Aquarians 2018 is going to expand your mind, helping you relinquish outdated concepts and find even more friends and networks that support your causes. The South Node in Aquarius inspires you to let go of old concepts of self so you can be who you need to be in the present. The North Node in Leo asks you to pay attention to messages from partners, professional and personal, creative collaborators and children. Make the world a better place for us all, starting with yourself. Jupiter and Scorpio encourage you to take bold steps to find allies. Avoid control dramas, as they would distract you from your true purpose. You are unique, irreplaceable, and valuable, just as everyone is. January will be a challenging month to balance these lessons. Watch for important changes in your sense of self, partnerships and career choices. Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn emphasize the importance of rest, retreat, and spiritual connection. Make time to sleep as your brain processes all the changes coming your way. Avoid energetic imbalance. Remember to just breathe and be. Sometimes letting go is the only way to let spirit in. Breathe in and breathe out. Letting go, breathe spirit in. Uranus is trine to Saturn in 2018. Its entry, exit, and final re-entry into Taurus in 2019 will also initiate major changes in domestic, home, and familial affairs throughout the year for you. Prepare to let go of old obligations and karmic contracts as you discover a new sense of home or foundation for yourself. Aquarius. February's new moon and July's full moon in Aquarius are solar and lunar eclipses respectively. Pay attention to mega shifts in this period. That is, the new moon of February and July's full moon in Aquarius. Pay attention to mega shifts in this period, and they're going to keep coming. So that's a year at a glance for Aquarius, which basically talks about temperance. Temperance. Temperance is a good place to be. Temperance is a fine place to be. And a working class hero is really something to be. A working class hero is everything to be. And we always honor the working people, working class, whether they're employed for money or self-employed or employed for no money, doing the divine work at whatever level. It's all important. It's all important. And today is the 17th, Odin's Day. Listen up, Blessed One. This is important. Can you help? Can you somehow ease up on that pulling? The great waters here are full of melt. They even upswell warm under the vast expanses of white ice at top and bottom of the otherwise crisp world, and crack, break, tumble, go the frozen rivers into the cresting soup where white bears swim hungry and penguins die with sunburned feet. Lady Moon, it is surely not your fault. You play hide and seek like always, but now the tides you magnet are flooding our edges. And the people are awash in fear, and birds and fish awash in plastic crumbles. It is our fault after all. Well, more historically, the patriarchal industrial capitalist corporate complex, and we who resist that greed in the name of love for all our relations. We seek your teachings. How do you do it? How do you write it out in the dark and the light? Keep your cool, return again and again. Mistress of certain change, you are pretty beaten up from what we can tell. Survivor of who knows what ancient turmoil. Your soft light persists and slow bounces to us. Percolates through night's shadow, time and again and again. Surely we can learn from your ways of ebb and flow as we enter this long epoch of earth wane. Keep us in your moon-wise orbit, please. And that is an affirmation for the restoration of the Lady of the Lake. What we need now is the Lady of the Lake, the return of the Lady of the Lake. We need the return of the Lady of the Lake so we can restore the promise of our kith and kin, held under key in the locket of our heart song. And we need the return of the Lady of the Lake so the procession of the equinoxes in balance can unfold. We have not had the Lady of the Lake in our heart song culture since at least 1300. That's 700 years. It seems like the Lady of the Lake has been invisible, missing, unknown. And so we invite and we invocate the Lady of the Lake and her return right here, right now, in this GreenFire hour, in this great hall of the Ice Palace of January. And in this great hall, we welcome in all ancestors, calling in all ancestors, calling in all the ancestors of the deep, calling in the Lady of the Lake to take her place in the high throne of the Ice Palace in the great hall of January. Listen up, this is important. Let us restore the Lady of the Lake into our hearts and minds, and our stories, our narratives, our oratory, and our long overnight, midnight, long midwinter sleep. We bring alive and awaken the Lady of the Lake, and awaken and bring her into the great hall of the Ice Palace of January. That is early work. This is this little part we could call the Moonlight Serenade. So this is a little Moonlight Serenade for the Lady of the Lake and her return. This invocation. This invocation is part of oratory, which is story, and that is really important for the work we're doing. I drink moonlight and listen as the shadow of earth eats reflected sunlight from the face of the moon. And in that sense, we're all part of the holy modal bounders, and we're practitioners of a longer, older way, better known as the craft. Are you of the craft? And this also goes out and is dedicated to the magicians, the magi, and the mystics, and all those of the deep, thinkers of the deep, beers of the deep, sleepers of the deep, eaters of the deep, breathers of the deep, deep ecology, but mostly the mystics and the meditators, contemplators, those who do the deep work for all of humanity, outside from purview of the normal gaze of the electronic sunbelt beam of the television camera and screen. They're outside of that purview. They're doing the deep work in the silence, in the out-of-the-way places. But you don't have to, but it's for those people we dedicate this hour particularly. And in that particular sense, we'll go into a piece that was a composition that was just created just this afternoon. So in that sense, we're moving about the layers of perception here. And so these are the doors of perception, each one unfolding into another door of perception, a deeper perception, each one opening into another door of perception. And as I was doing a reflection with a colleague, a friend, a fellow traveler, this is dedicated to everybody who's traveling out there, fellow traveler. And this is, what is the outpicturing of the new year? What does that outpicturing of the new year look like for you? So I thought about it, and I sat down and put together this composition called Faces of New Year. Sitting here, eating a chocolate Long John, thinking of my brother, Iowa City BP convenience store, South Dubuque Street at 3:33 p.m. Odin's Day, January 17, 2018. And the orange crush washes down cold, clean, sweet, and through, shot clear through with a warm wash of sunshine. After 19 of the last 23 days below zero, a little bit of glow makes us go, and we slow roll these standing stones of yonder ion glyph along another metronym of unknowing. And these holy modal bounders come alive as snow geese over golden field of corn in North Liberty, full of field of dreams near Oakdale, and its water tower of promise, abundance, and reciprocity. Three sisters of joy abide here. This is a gaze of a new year. And the eyes of promise, on the eyes of promise, the faces of new year come popping out of the winter shadows, crossing Iowa River past EPB. At the class shifts and follows the train up, up, up Old Cap Hill and onto the Pentecrest. And the remembrance of my brother and the promise are remembered and renewed intact. At this initiatic light contact and firing of the synapse of loving kindness to the promise here at New Beginnings Place in serious winter, intact, the promise renewed, in the faces revealed by sunsplash and slow turning of the wheel, up, up, up Pentecost Hill, with old cap banners and flags flying high. What are the outpicturings of New Year's, dear friend? In this time of unfolding, what do you see? What do you envision in your outpicturing? Let's leave the political and all the rantings of the DC Beltway beast outside and alone in its own cold. What promise is shining through you this very instant? What bundle up joy is beginning to unfold through you right now? This is pact of the mystery. This is part of the mystery. Let it be. And consequently, at the same time, let it be here now. It is still the long, long-fingered, gnarly grasp of winter. It is still the time of hibernia, biorhythms of deep sleep, the time of repose. And this long, long slow gives us new breath of the phases of the deep. And the impact of the ages and ancestors and glaciers visit us here in the great hall of our ice palace, and they take up their seats upon the high places of Round Table, and all gods they were, and all gods they are. And the light is a certain warm shaft along the long ray, and the gift is serenity through surrender, sunbeam fused down the long hall of winter. This the time of promise, outpicturings, placed lovingly, swiftly in the astrolabe, of unfolding into the year, and the innocence wears a certain dearness, and true love of the sweetheart knows its own unfolding, and trusting the process through innocence, restores and imbues incense into the new year. Things of a galactic note, things of a universe tone, will be receptacles of unknowing, both perceiving and receiving, being open to the songs of the deep, out past the edge of darkness, clear on out to beyond the void. What is this other than follow your bliss? What is this other than follow your bliss? And this appears in Surprise Corner, and Sunrise orders to follow the dawn as keepers of the flame, same as an angle of geese. And this means film and dance and photography and music and sculpture and giggles and outrageous laughter and breathing and listening to a new hollow, and beauty and beauty and beauty and joy of the journey through unfoldment of new story. And this is good enough to let it be. Let the mystery become. And all your friends are in their high, noble places, in their golden faces. They sing round Merry Tree, and all are able, and all are on this immense journey as the Magi's of content and discontent in raucous ruckus of now, as the caravan passes, and they are all on the bus for this intrepid journey, trekking further. Caravan Serai, Caravan Serai, I and I, Rastafari. So this is the outpicturing of the new year, faces of the new year. So I hope you find your place in some of these passages of the faces of the new year. And I invite you to look unsuspectingly and surprisingly at passers-by, literally at strangers. When the sunlight hits their face in these long shadows of winter, and see if you can't see the faces of New Year shining right back to you in the passers-by. This is a great joy of the gift of humanity without knowing it. And in that sense, we travel afar. We will return to this, and we're moving into another fractal of the deep of this early New Year time. And sometimes sometimes you travel into a context that is what would be called in context. So that would be bioregional consciousness would be in context. I know a place where everyone can lay down their weapons. The people have the power. People have the power. There is a place, a Shenandoah Valley of the mind, a place where streams calm and soothe irascible spirits, where the tailless slope is all white in peace, where a February woodpecker snaps up to the tree just for the life of it, for the journey. There is a place where Crow feels at home, where there is plenty space to roam, a place where you and me is only we, and I-thou place for the entire human race, a divine milieu whose ongoing candle is lit in the hymn of the universe, a place where you don't punch the ticket puncher, a place where your ticket gets punched into something good, something long-lasting, into something that is a resonance field of sweet symphony for the journey. This is a place, and when you look up, it finds you. Just when you disbelieve and fail to perceive. And it's a place to collect all the little sparklies, all over the ground, in the trees, in the harmonic vibration energy, in the air. Collect these sparklies. They come in little snowflakes shining and sparkling. Sparkling little sunshine for your mind. In an invisible geomagnetic frequency, not heard by the temporal ear, in a derivation zone, a deviation zone of the comforter, for no reason and for good, soaking up this anomalous phenomena into little ions, and then into little sparklies, then into divine radiance. Ah, the phenomenon of man, as eschaton of the deep, reaches into this time and space. This is where your castle can keep, dear friend. No armory, no munitions, no memory of that anywhere. This is the Sather gate of the satisfied mind with the balm of Gilead. No memory of that anywhere. Into this place everyone can come and lay their weapons down for keeps. Come, dear friend, come to this gathering. Come to this gathering, the Shenandoah Valley of the mind, a place where everyone can lay down their weapons and people have the power. So stir it up, and we, in a certain sense, a gentle stirring up, like the butterfly effect, or the flutter of the butterfly wings, the flutter of the butterfly wings. That would make perturbations around the planet, possibly. And so again, we trek even into another fractal. This is called Leaning Tree. Well, I'm sitting against a leaning tree at Scattergood, Hickory Grove Cemetery. And cars and trucks and who knows what else are spinning down I-80, 20 feet behind me at 70 to 80 miles an hour. Tires singing off the concrete, singing, literally singing in this Sunday morning. Reverie hum, om goes the universe. In whichever way you want to spin the depth of emerald green in early July, deeper the inner emerald spin. It deepens the inner emerald spin. It's kind of singing out loud, clear up into the great blue. Overhead, holding the whole thing together. Overhead, holding the whole thing together in this divine sunshine of life. And in this divine sunshine of life, this Turtle Island mind of loving kind, the birds hold this Holy Communion together. Last night, a black bull at midnight at full moon stopped me in my tracks. Behind the Friends Chapel, just looking into unknown presence of depth and void, this wholeness church of balance and bliss stops me everywhere, every time, for nothing here suggests this. You just have to climb. We sang by the fig tree, suggested by a friend's dance, by the vine and the fig tree. We made our own tracks here, whether in silence or communally, washing our spirits clean, renewed by all this bliss, accompanied by eternal rattle, hum, and hiss of the tires singing down I-80 at 80 miles an hour. Ah, Om, ah, human, ah, Om, ah, hope, ah, hope. And again, renewing and reviewing. Renewing and reviewing, it sometimes shares with us a different kind of journey. Spring journey, assemblage point of the four agreements. It's full moon. We come into this medicine time through different fractals of the mind fire sacred Wesak full moon. This is the rabbit in the egg, Lepus moon. Fertility rites are sprung everywhere. In the soft green hair of spring, a feathering of vibrations way down low at earth level, winnowing out the poo and things. For all the little darlings, the wishel of the Sonora, are on their 40-day pilgrimage. Tonight they come into the crystal springs. On Sunday they'll have the dance of the deer. Uriri communion ceremony, a harmonium celesti, fixing the axis of the universe upon earth again. Tonight, along with Starhawk and Wiccan others, I'll place crystals in a glass of water by the full moon and invite the full moon to dance upon the waters of eternal life. In the morning, I'll drink crystal waters of regeneration in communion and celebration with others, harmoniously charged in beauty. A little bit of water makes a better day. And the joy of the journey is a stranger speaking sweetly of water. Passover and Holy Thursday as sacred satyrs in our lives, the cedars of Lebanon, the red cedar of the journey, of sweet medicine, and care for the least of these is our sacred memorare. This is not a mini-series on TV. These are our daily lives lived. And in this spring journey, we make no apologies. We make no assumptions. We don't take things personally, and we don't look for convenience as a way out. Convenience is the swiftest conveyance to hell. And let little child feet be healing of the mending of our wings. And let the mending of our wings be the thing of this spring. For without gratitude, we cannot have fortitude and courage and generosity to make it through these rough times. This is our beloved community. It lives in us in the full moon crystal springs as our communion of redemption song. And this lives within each and every one of our hearts. So back to the original composition, which these are minor arcana, depending on the turn of the seasonal wheel. They are major arcana in the different parts of the turning of the seasonal wheel. But we're staying with the early turning of the seasonal wheel. The early turning. Minimum wage, maximum never near shore sea ice. Due to be different. Dare to be different, dear friend. Dare to be different. And in this, we return to the outpicturings of the new year. The outpicturings of the new year are looking for faces we see in the faces of the new year. Sitting here, eating a chocolate Long John, thinking of my brother, Iowa City, BP convenience store, South Dubuque Street, 3:33 p.m., Odin's Day, January 17, 2018. And the orange crush washes down, cold, clean, sweet, and through, shot clear through, with a warm wash of sunshine, after 19 of the last 23 days below zero. A little bit of glow makes us glow, and we slow roll these standing stones of yonder ion glyph along another metronym of unknowing. These holy modal bounders come alive as snow geese over golden field, near North Liberty, field of dreams, near Oakdale, and its water tower of promise, abundance, and reciprocity. Three sisters of joy abides here. This is a gaze of a new year on the eyes of promise. The faces of new year come popping out of winter shadows, crossing Iowa River past the EPB as class shifts and the herd follows the train up, up, up Old Cap Hill and on to the Pentecrest. And the remembrance of my brother and the promise are remembered and renewed and restored here intact at this initiatic light contact and firing of the synaptic of loving kindness through the tears, through the tears, through the tears, to the promise. Here at New Beginnings in serious winter, intact, the promise renewed in the faces revealed by sunsplash and the slow turning of the wheel, up, up, up Pentecrest Hill, with old cap banners and flags flying high. What are the outpicturings of New Year's, dear friend? In this time of unfolding, what do you see? What do you envision in your outpicturing? Let's leave the political and all the rantings of the DC Beltway beast outside and alone in its own cold. What promise is sharing and shining through you? What promise is sharing and shining through you? This very instant, What bundled up joy is beginning to unfold through you right now? This is part of the mystery. Let it be. Let it be. And let it be here now. It is still the long, long-fingered, gnarly grasp of winter. It is still the time of hibernia, biorhythms of deep sleep, the time of repose. And this long, long slow gives us new breath of the phases of the deep. And the impact of ages and ancestors and glaciers visit us here in the great hall of our ice palace, and they take up their seats upon the high places of round table in this pool of wonder, and all gods they were, and all gods they were, and all gods they were and are. And the light is a certain warm shaft along the long way, and the gift is serenity through surrender. Sunbeam fused down the long hall of winter. This, the time of promise, outpicturings, placed lovingly, swiftly into the astrolabe of unfolding into the year, and the innocence wears a certain dearness, and the innocence wears a certain dearness as true love of the sweetheart knows its own unfolding, and trusting the process through innocence, restores and imbues incense into the new year, things of a galactic note, things of a universe tone, both perceiving and receiving, will be receptacles of unknowing, being open to the songs of the deep, out past the edge of darkness, clear on out to beyond the void. What is this other than follow your bliss? All this appears in surprise corners and sunrise orders of the seraphim and the cherubim to follow the dawn as keepers of the flame. Follow the dawn as keepers of the flame. Sing as angle of geese. And this means film and dance and photography and painting and watercolor and sculpture and ukulele and giggles and outrageous laughter and breathing and listening to a new hollow and beauty and beauty and beauty and joy of the journey and joy in the morning and joyeux Noël through unfoldment of new story. And this is good enough to let it be. Let the mystery become, and all your friends in their high noble places, in their golden faces, sing round merry tree, and all are on this immense journey. All are here who are in the swim together. Look around and see who's in the swim with you. And all are on this immense journey as the magi's of content and discontent in raucous ruckus of now, as the caravan passes, and they are all on the bus for this intrepid journey trekking further. Ah, Caravan Serai. Ah, Caravan Serai. And in the Caravan Serai, dear friend, you look around and you see you can cause an effect. And if you look around and you can see that you can cause an effect, because the cause is an effect, and because you are an effect, you may be the butterflies, the effect of the butterfly flapping its wings halfway around the planet. The cause is an effect. And if you think about it, There is a Sufi talk about the cause, the noble cause, and living in the abode. And in that perception, the cause is the effect. Think about that change of little pause phraseology there, where the cause is the effect. And you could think about, something like a hot dog, right? So you got a hot dog, and you say, oh, the cause is the effect. Well, what causes an effect? Cause, but it says cause and effect. You see that? I'll show it up here. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. So they look at something like behavioral modeling or something of that nature. The behavior model is cause and effect, but this is cause and effect. So you cause an effect. So this is the outpicturing of the new year. How do you want to cause an effect? So you look at the assemblage point. That's the beginning where you set your intent. We're right here in the tent of the golden eternity of now. So here we are setting our intent within the tent of the golden eternity of now, of this holy new year, right? So we cause the effect within that. We set the intent. Well, we could say tilth, plenty, and abundance. You could say loving kindness for the least of these. Within of that is heart-centered, is love. Whatever is all these intents in the heart center would be the heart chakra of love. Without that, nothing really of life or vitality can really emerge. It has to be heart-centered, therefore love-centered. So we look within that sense of love-centered as, does this have a path with a heart? So this, we're getting somewhere here. Does this have a path with a heart? Okay, that's a good beginning, all right? We're setting our intent. So we're going to cause and effect. Cause and effect, right? And if you want to cause and effect, the outcome is a solid stone city. You center that cause at whatever in your intention with loving kindness. And the heart center is the heart chakra, the heart song of love. That's just real simple. And for the little people and for the all above people and the all around people and the surround sound people and all the good people and all the not so good people. That's including everybody, man. Including those who don't even have a clue. So you can set a cause and effect to open up their hearts through a little golden drop of love in that ocean of resistance. So you have that ocean of resistance. It could be even an ocean of resistance frozen solid through years of walls and uncaring. But you can cause an effect with a golden drop, one golden drop of love, and thaw that entire ocean of uncaring and coldness. But you set that intent by causing an effect. So we set our heart with the golden nectar of one drop of golden nectar of love going into the ocean, the cosmic ocean of the here now. Being here now. This is a powerful intent. And then we surround that with breathing in peace, breathing out love. Breathe in love, breathe out peace. Breathe in peace, breathe out love. Let this go round and round, and the perturbations and the ripples going out in concentric circles. From our self to another self, out across this bioregion, this ecosystem, this upper Midwest Regency, this Turtle Island consciousness, this upper northern latitude of the other Aurora Borealis, around and round in all the waters that flow through the beloved water planet, around and around till it reaches all beings on planet Earth. Through breathing it in, literally breathing it in. By osmosis, we become membranes to a deeper self. Oh, cool. And that's within of this journey of January, where we set our intent. And as we look at the faces of New Year, with our intent, we begin to form the outpicturings of the New Year. We set the template, our initiatic leaping into the darkness of the journey, and trusting the process, and being bold enough to commit to that for the golden eternity of an entire year. So whatever it is that you're setting your intent toward, and that is to the good now, and it could be awakening someone, but awakening your own self, your true self, and what gifts you have to give this beloved planet and this blessed humanity. What gifts do you have? Maybe it's listening. Hey, the listening project is really cool. Maybe it's the giraffe project, where you stick your neck out. Where you stick your neck out and you take a risk. So you become a member of the giraffe project. It's the listening project. Maybe it's the surrender project, where you surrender to a higher good. Okay, it's good to have all the things, but maybe we don't need all the things that we thought we want. Maybe that's just part of the cultural menu that's given to us by the dominant culture. Basically Wall Street and Madison Avenue. So maybe those trinkets aren't really all that cool, and we're not all that interested. And maybe all the stuff from Silicon Valley doesn't interest us much either, like social media, or all the iPhones, or all the newest gizmos, and gosmos, goblins from Silicon Valley. Maybe we're not interested in those things. Maybe we want to move beyond that materialistic acquisition and begin to breathe in, I want what I have. Maybe I want what I have is pretty cool. And therefore I don't become just a consumer and just a commodity product, dehumanized existence. So that we can let that go. We can dissolve that into another level of awareness, which brings us all in. So we share a pizza with a friend. We share a good moment with a friend, a listening moment. Maybe our friend has something that we need to share with them. So we begin by including our friends. They're part of the divine dance as well, and our friends are facets. Each one is a fractal, a facet of the jeweled ornament that each one of us is. And if we're looking at the jeweled ornament of liberation, it begins with ourselves, with a single step. The journey of this 10,000-mile year, basically a 10,000-mile journey, begins with a single step, and that begins with a conscious awareness of our surrender to a higher purpose. And what gifts we have to give. What do I want to give on this kaleidoscope of now? Each one of us can turn that and reflect a fractal that is truly our own, but within the Indra's net of the pool of wonder, and on which the mandala, where every one of us takes our place upon the great mandala. So in the sense of the great mandala, we find our center, and we realize that it's good enough, and the center holds even in the darkest night. We realize that there is a sunshine, and that sunshine is for all of us, and that sunshine lives even in the darkest times, and that dawn does come, and we are the holders of the dawn, huh? We are the carriers of the dream wheel, keepers of the flame, children of the silver thread, flying through the moon. And with that, I wish all of you to make a really good awareness of what the face of New Year looks for you. In the outpicturing of the New Year, include someone you don't even know, and for the stranger that you may meet. That's part of the joy of the journey. So hey, enjoy the journey, and peace with you. It's all good.